playing the Radical Latino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands in the air for New York's very own.
Radical Latino is taking you to another level.
Welcome back, my people. Welcome back to another episode of the Radical Latino. Yes, it's your gracious host, the Radical Latino. What is going on, my people? Holy shit. I finally, this podcast just turned a year. Yes, thank you for the round of applause. Thank you. A whole year. Yes, for a whole year, you guys been listening to my bullshit. You guys been listening to me just ramble on and talk about, things that are very important, but for the most part, things that we all care and really, come together with and stuff like that. So for a whole year, I've been basically talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you guys. Thank you very much. Before we get into the topics of anything, this show is going to be, like my other episodes, very heavy. Not heavy, but it's, I'm gonna tackle some topics. But first of all, I want to really talk about, it's a year, you know what I'm saying? So I really want to talk about things that I want to, really discuss. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna emphasize on the heaviness just right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? I want to at least give it a little light, it's a little light. We want to lighten it up a little bit, and then we get on, because you obviously got to see the title of the episode. So I want to lighten it up a little bit, and then get into the real talk. You know what I'm saying? But yes, it's been a year. I want to give you guys a little background, on me, on the whole point of me even doing this podcast, even thought about doing a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because I get questions like every other day. Hey, what made you even want to start a podcast? I know you're fairly new. What made you even want to come out and start talking and all that? And to be completely honest with you guys, I didn't think this was gonna last long. To be completely honest, I was like, listen, I'm probably gonna get like maybe 5 or 4 downloads or whatever the case is. Nobody's gonna fucking listen to me, especially the way how I'm marketing myself, and as to the name, the Radical Latino. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna really, pay me any mind or whatever the case is. And the community that I'm trying to basically uphold and unify, they're not gonna give 2 shits about what I'm saying. Hopefully some people do, but for the most part, I don't think that's gonna really happen. So I was like, hey, let me just give it a shot. And to be completely honest, guys, I gave it up to episode 10. I was like, yo, it is what it is. Something happens. Nothing happens. Because I didn't really come into this shit with much expectation, just to basically rant and rave and actually, talk my shit. But then I started getting a lot of, feedback, and people was like, yo, I'm really liking what you're saying, all this other stuff. So that's what was really making me go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So to give you guys a feedback, the reason why I even started a podcast is because I was seeing a lot of confusion in the Latin community. I was seeing a lot of confusion in how we thought. I was seeing a lot of confusion on the race relations between most typical Latinos and black people. You know what I'm saying? So, and I couldn't understand why. Even as a little kid, I did not understand why. And the thing is, for the most part, when someone more melanated came into a Latin community, they automatically, this is a moreno and all this other stuff. But when they start speaking Spanish, okay, so you Dominican and all that, you know what I'm saying? And they get treated differently, but still in the same breath, they're like, nah, you still get treated a little bit better just because, okay, you're not black, you're Spanish black. I mean Latin black. But in New York, you Latin people are called Spanish because that's what we speak. that's a very popular misconception. You know, outside of New York, people don't call themselves Spanish unless they want to really align themselves with white. But anyway, they're Black Latin. So I saw this huge confusion on a lot of Latin people, especially the ones who are woke, you know, tiptoeing that fine line, this is my culture, Latin is my culture, but also my race is this, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to at least come out and actually educate, and actually come out and, you know, really break that mold, break that white mold that the Latin community is really holding on strong to, especially the older Latin people, you know what I'm saying? And you know, this comes all the way back to slavery or whatever. So as a kid, I was like, yo, there's no difference, you know, Black and Latin people, we all live in the same community, we all get treated the same by whites, we all get seen the same way by whites, we actually get, you know, accused and not the same benefits all across the board, and we all, you know, get viewed the same treat, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, there's no difference, so what's the beef? I never understood that. What's the beef? And then that's when I started, you know, this is when I was young, and then later on in life, when I started growing up more, I started educating myself and learning about race relations and all that, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then, you know, I always had this shit in the back of my mind, didn't really care too much about, like, you know, really talking and stuff, because most of my political discussions was always on Facebook. That's it. Always on Facebook. You know, reading Francis Cress Welsing's book, Mr. Neely Fuller's book, reading those people's books, and just having an understanding of what it is that's white supremacy, and it basically revolves all around us and all that. And then listening to Tariq Nasheed and getting all the hidden colors, it was eye-opening to me. It was something that I was like, oh wow, so this is what it is. It was being put to me in a perspective that I actually understood, and I could identify, and I could label, and I know how to maneuver, at least for somewhat the degree that I could maneuver in. And when I saw that, I was like, okay. But still, you know, most of my racial discussions were always on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? And my page was never private. You know, anybody could have interacted with me. I had a lot of white people coming at me on most of the things that were coming out on the news circuits and all this other stuff, right? So one day I was like, maybe I should just start a podcast. Remember, this is not my first podcast. I started an entertainment podcast a few months ago before my first episode even came out. You know what I'm saying? It was just an entertainment podcast. It was something very small, very just to test the waters. And it was just basically revolved around entertainment and music and stuff. The person I was doing it with, you know, I really loved her hot takes and her insights on everything. I think I came with the, you know, unfilteredness, and she's the one that came with the female maturity part of it. So I think we mesh very well. But behind the scenes, you know, I was taking care of basically everything, and you know, just a very small scuffle happened. So episode number one never came out. So I just said, yo, let me just do this on my own. And I couldn't even think about, hey, I'm going to actually do a podcast just by myself and talking about what I need to talk about. And I don't really want to talk about entertainment. So I said, you know what? Screw it. Let me just do this shit by myself. Let me just see what happens. And I started actually. Funny thing is, the music that you guys hear every episode, every episode is from Young Jeezy, and the song is called All There. So I was basically listening to the song while I'm driving home one day out the blue. Actually, one night I'm driving home and I'm listening to All There, but in reality I'll have my mind just all over the place. all over the place. My bad, just burp. All over the place. So I'm like, I'm basically, for a whole 40-something minutes, I was just talking to myself about just certain things that I wanted to just get out. You know what I'm saying? Certain things that I wanted to discuss. And I was pretending I was talking to an audience while I'm driving, listening to all there. And the song itself, for some reason, gave me that battery in my back, just made it sound like not aggressive, but made it sound like it's carrying my message across. You know what I'm saying? It's carrying my message across. The way the tempo is, the beat, the hi-hats, the constant dun, 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 you know. So it sounded something. It sounded like basically my voice, you know, in a beat form, on how I was thinking. And then while I'm driving, I literally just went on YouTube and put the song's name instrumental. I got it, and the whole ride, I'm continuing on talking to myself with the beat in the back, and I said, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is exactly what I'm gonna do. This is it. Everything else came after. This is it. Episode 1 and 2, I basically recorded it on my own, you know, very minimal, like I said again, you know, through my laptop. I just recorded it. I was like, you know, blah, 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 with the song playing in the background, and I was just getting in the mode. And I didn't even release episode 1 and 2. I recorded it in the beginning of the month. I recorded it, and I didn't even like let it out. I let a couple of people hear it, and they're like, yo, I really like what you're saying. And that's when I started, you know, I made my logo, you know, very quick. It didn't even take that long, and boom, you know, I let out episode 1 and 2 right then and there. Episode 1 and 2, here you go. And from there, the rest is history. So now you guys know how this whole train wreck started. Basically, that's how this whole thing started. You know what I'm saying? So basically, in other words, it just boils down to a little crazy period of my time where I just started talking to myself like a fucking maniac. But anyway, yeah, so now you guys know a little bit of history on me and how I started this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Also, for the year episode, like I said, moving forward, this is gonna be the new slate. I'm gonna be dropping it either every Wednesday or Thursday. I'm gonna try to be more consistent, not have like random gaps of 2 weeks or whatever the case is. I'm gonna try to be more consistent, and you know, dropping instead of Monday, I'm gonna be dropping every Wednesday or Thursday. You know what I'm saying? But now, going into the first thing, for people who don't know, I'm a huge battle rap fan. Huge. I think I said this before, I go to events all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? All the time. And one of these events, you actually see me on camera. Alright? I go to these events all the fucking time. And I've been to multiple events, and you can see me on camera multiple times. You know what I'm saying? But in one event, you actually see me on camera extremely clearly for a good while, you know? So I like to go into these battle rap events and all that. I met most of the battle rappers and all that. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this week, Cassidy, the recording artist, Cassidy battled Goodz. Yes, Cassidy battled Goodz. I probably lost half of you guys right now, but that's exactly what it is. Cassidy battled Goodz, and I saw that whole battle on the edge of my seat because Cassidy was talking that hot shit. Yo, Cassidy was talking that hot shit, talking about, yo, I started the battle rap crowd. Yo, I started this shit. If it wasn't for me, there wouldn't be a URL. And people are laughing at what he's saying, because all the shit that he's saying is not even true. You know what I'm saying? Cassidy didn't fucking help nothing. He didn't build nothing in this community. The fuck you talking about? You feel what I'm saying? So when people are hearing this shit, they're like, yo, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking about? You know? And he was basically just talking hot shit. I never got booed. I'm 5001. That is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of battle rappers are good, but they got beaten before. You know what I'm saying? They got beaten before. And he's saying that he never got beaten, which is bullshit. It's extremely hard to believe. Secondly, he said he never got booed. His first camera battle rap battle was with Disaster. And it was actually 4 rounds. The reason why I say it was 4 rounds, because the event got stopped in the first round. That shit just got stopped. That's it. Cameras went off, lights went out, it was over. People got pissed. You know what I'm saying? People got pissed. I got pissed because I paid for this shit. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck just happened? I'm going on Twitter, people are confused and all that. Then Organic comes on and goes, yo, they kicked us out, we're gonna reschedule. And they rescheduled at some parking lot on some small crowd. And Cassidy smoked. Cassidy smoked Disaster. Cassidy smoked Disaster. And we were like, okay, cool. But this is the thing. I watch battle rap. And there's a lot of guys and a lot of rappers who are nice in the small room, but ass on stage. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. There are a lot of rappers are nice in the stage, but they're ass in the small room. Big difference. There's a huge difference. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta captivate the whole crowd when you're on stage. In a small room, you got a couple of dozen people up in there, or a little bit more, and everybody's feeling the shit is more personal. It's like an exclusive. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very, very different. And Cassidy said he didn't get booed on camera. He was getting booed. He was getting booed off his shoes. Like, he was getting booed. But when Cassidy went up to Goodz, people were clowning him and all that. Alright, Cassidy went up to Goodz. And I feel that because of nostalgia alone, the crowd was on Cassidy's side. First of all, let me just make this clear. Cassidy got 3-0'd. I don't care what nobody says. Cassidy, he got 3-0'd. Why? It's because of nostalgia alone. He started a very good first round because the crowd was with him and some of his bars were carrying. Okay. But during that first round, while it kept on going, them same dudes, the same crowd, was like, alright, some of his shit it sounds like ass. And some of his shit was sounding like ass. Straight up. Some of his shit was sounding like basura. You know what I'm saying? And I can't even quote a rhyme because this shit was garbage. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is he? I'm looking at my mans. I'm like, yo, what the fuck he means by that? That shit is trash. Yo, did you just hear what he said? That shit is basura. You know what I mean? So after the battle, Goodz go on, and I'm like, alright, Goodz is popping some jokes, but he's doing his shit. After round 2 and 3, Cassidy starts getting booed. And I'm like, oh, that's basically it. It's over. Cassidy lost. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. He lost. And at least he didn't, he didn't sabotage the battle. Shout out to him. But to me, yo, Goodz got that 3-0. I'm sorry. 3 motherfucking 0. Still staying on the hip hop topic. 2 albums came out that I wasn't even expecting. First of all, one of them I wasn't expecting because I didn't even know who the dude was. And the other one I was just surprised. So Styles P came out with an album, right? The shit is fire. I was like, oh shit, I actually bought it. I was like, oh shit. He came out with an album. I streamed it and I was like, I gotta buy this shit. Shit was hard. Then on Twitter, because that's how I found out the album came out, was on Twitter. This guy named Berner was trending. And El Chivo, the album El Chivo. I'm like, who the fuck? I'm thinking there's a new drug kingpin from El Chapo. You know what I mean? It's like El Chivo and shit. So I'm like, the motherfucker's like, you know, smuggling goats? What the hell is going on? So I'm looking at it, I was like, nah, it's a rapper. His album came out. So I was like, I'll give this motherfucker a try. Let me just hear this shit. So I streamed it. Yo, I'm telling you right now, some dude from the West Coast, Berner, that nigga nice. That nigga is nice. Yo, the whole album is fire. Whole album is fire. The one that is the hardest tracks up in there is PTSD. The shit is hard. Starts telling a story. I like that storytelling shit. You know what I'm saying? So the whole shit was fire. So shout out to those 2 albums. I definitely recommend you guys go get that. Styles P's album and Berner's album. You know what I'm saying? Go get that. That shit is hard. Staying with the hip hop topic, Wu-Tang Clan has a street named after them. You guys didn't know that. That shit is crazy. I saw that shit on Twitter. I was like, yo, shout out to them. They actually got a street named after them. I think it's called Wu-Tang Clan District, I think it's called. Yeah, I think that's what it's called, right? Wu-Tang Clan District. Anyway, so they got a street name after them. So shout out to them. You know, salute. I'm definitely gonna pass by and take photos of it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. You know, Wu-Tang Clan doing their thing. You know what I mean? Another thing that actually happened this week, I got revealed that Ice Cube was actually partnering with a bunch of black entertainers and rappers to actually buy a bunch of TV stations. I actually put this out on my Instagram this week and end up finding out that those plans were flaunted because of the big TV executives. He was planning, not only him, but a bunch of people were putting their money in together to buy a couple of TV stations for $10 billion. They were getting their money together, and they got it to actually buy TV stations for $10 billion, not million, billion with a B, $1 billion. And I'm telling you, that is some shit. If they would have done that, fuck this whole BET shit. They actually would have, you know, done some good. You know what I mean? But this goes to show the system of white supremacy. This goes to show that in the system of white supremacy, you're not allowed to pass down wealth. You're not allowed to pass down monetary value on any form of monetary value down to lineages. That's the rule of the game. You know what I'm saying? That's why now, recently, you only seen a lot of black millionaires. You know what I'm saying? Not even billionaires, but millionaires. The only one closest is to actually getting some wealth passed down was Jay-Z and Dr. Dre. You know, to be completely honest, and Diddy, to be completely honest. Those are only 3 that I actually see. Oh yeah, we want to lump in Oprah. We could lump in Oprah, but that's what I see. You know, who are really just fairly recently. You know, but that doesn't mean that it won't get forwarded. You know what I'm saying? That's the name of the game, because wealth is not supposed to be passed down to people we, you know, declare undesirables. Wealth is not supposed to be passed down to people that we consider less than. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, white people were coming to this country and were just given money and land and all that. You know what I'm saying? So they already started started off in a great footing. You know what I'm saying? And they will pass that land and money down. You know, they build something. They get this land. They start building it, and guess what? They will pass it down generationally to the point where you get these big ass families owning half of New York, and you don't understand why. You know what I'm saying? But black families, they weren't given that same opportunity whatsoever. To the point when slavery ended, the people who were actually paid reparations were the slave owners themselves. A lot of people don't know that. Slave owners were paid reparations because of that. So white people were always looked at. You know what I'm saying? They were always, protected. They were always actually seen as a valuable class. You feel what I'm saying? So when you actually see the higher powers actually stopping a group of black people from actually getting something successful, that means that they already know something that you're not supposed to know. You're not supposed to pass down wealth. You're not supposed to pass down the lineage of your whole generation to be okay. You're supposed to work. You're supposed to work and work and work and work. This is what we're told when we're little. Latin and black kids are told this from little. You're supposed to work, go to college, study hard, and get a good job. That's what we're told when we're little. We're never told to create our job. We're never told to create our opportunities. We're never told that. White kids are told that. White kids are told, go to school, get an education, and create your job. We're told, go to school, get an education, and get a job. Never to create. That's a huge difference. And that is brought down through slavery. That is brought down to just keep your head down and work. Because nobody got killed, nobody got beaten for working hard. You got killed and beaten for not working at all. You know what I'm saying? So that is brought down through slavery. And this is something that we have to automatically take apart, get rid of. Because that's not something that we're supposed to hold on to. You know what I'm saying? And for those people who are actually growing up from my generation, who are having kids and all this other stuff, I tell them, I'm like, listen, when you're raising your kids, make sure you tell them, like, at least get an opportunity to actually create something. Since the internet, these kids are growing up in the age of the internet. You could literally become a billionaire overnight with a website and an app. That's it. You get a good app idea, it's over for you. It's over. Look at that Flappy Bird shit. That Flappy Bird became a sensation. It was a simple mobile game. You're just avoiding pipes. That Asian dude who developed that shit, he ended up getting, I believe, $19 billion. No, was it not? No, it was million. $19 million in 1 month. Why? Because that shit was free and it was running ads. Every time you played and you turn the app on, ads will be running. And guess what? That Asian dude will get a cut of it. You know what I'm saying? So, especially the age of the internet, there's a whole world of possibilities. You feel what I'm saying? It's a whole world of possibilities. So, this basically goes to show that, white supremacy is controlling every aspect of our lives if we choose to disregard it. Now, moving on to the Ted Bundy movie. So there was a lot of talks of this Zach, I forgot the guy's name. All white people look alike to me. But the guy from Baywatch, who played in Baywatch and all the other college movies or whatever the case is, he played Ted Bundy in a movie. And the way the trailer was, they depicted Ted Bundy as this charming, attractive guy who everybody wants to be like, who you should be like, to the point where he was cocky and crass and rude and, you know what I'm saying, charming in the same time. First of all, a lot of people don't know this motherfucker escaped prison multiple times. Alright? He escaped prison multiple times to the point where he couldn't even stay out for free without committing a goddamn murder. Yeah, believe it or not. This guy he escaped jail to go kill again. You know what I'm saying? He was killing women left and right, left and right, left and right. He escaped jail, gets caught, escapes jail, kills, gets caught, escapes jail, kill, gets caught. You know what I'm saying? And throughout this whole time, he's just getting caught and escaping jail and all this other shit. If it was someone black, they would have been killed this dude. You know what I'm saying? But he's white. He got the complexion for the protection. Alright. So the Ted Bundy movie is lauded. Not lauded, but it's viewed as something that is, you know, something that you wanna be like. Is, oh my god, it's so amazing, you know. And this motherfucker killed like over, was it 20 something women, 20 something or 40 something women? Like, what are you talking about? And people were, you know, they were outraged. But this is what happens when it's a white murderer, serial killer. They get put on the pedestal of, oh, they have to be praised. You know, like, that's why Charles Manson is viewed as the way he is. Oh my god, super smart. This guy is, oh, he's a genius. How did he actually get people to do what he wanted to do? And this motherfucker was crazier than cat shit. You know, cutting himself, giving himself swastika tattoos and all that. He was crazy as shit. But because someone white does it, and they don't understand how they did it, oh my god. But when black people were getting other people to commit their murders or whatever the case is, oh yeah, you people just go to jail, whatever, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's very different. And I was calling this shit out on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, just because this dude, the reason why they're putting him up on the pedestal is because he's white. Let's keep it real. That's basically why. And I was getting not that much flack for it, but I was getting like, yeah, I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, moving forward to Facebook. So this is gonna tie in to the main topic of this episode. Moving on to Facebook. Facebook banned Farrakhan from Facebook. Facebook banned Farrakhan. So this is a thing that I was skeptical from the beginning. When Facebook started doing all this band of, you know, white supremacists, well, everybody was doing it. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you know what I'm saying? They went through a whole list of white supremacists who were on their platforms and they just banned them. Alex Jones was one. Milo was one. Richard Spencer was another one. You know, so all of these people were getting banned left and right, left and right. So everybody was like, yeah, ban white supremacists, ban white supremacists, ban white supremacists, which is not a wrong thing to do because they're spewing hate. You know what I'm saying? But also, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. This could be a catch-22. This is a double-edged sword now, because since they're going to be banning these people and with, you know, with under the guise of hate speech, they could ban all these other people who speak against that, who's a little too radical, who's a little too militant for them. They could ban them under the guise of hate speech too. So this is a double-edged sword. Remember, white supremacists in the system of white supremacy, they play chess, okay? They play chess. Facebook is the same platform that said that they protect white nationalists, okay? You guys gotta remember that. They protect white nationalists. That's exactly what they said. they eliminate any other black person or Latin person speaking against white supremacy, I got my accounts taken down a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? I got my shit taken down a bunch of times. I got my shit removed. I got blocked. All that shit for speaking up against white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they said. And then out of nowhere, now they're deleting and blocking and banning all these other people, right? Okay. This is a double-edged sword. Now, what we find out, Farrakhan gets banned. Same thing I said before. Watch out. Watch out. I think I said that even in the episode. Watch out. This is a double-edged sword. Something doesn't seem right about this. You know what I'm saying? This is now Farrakhan gets banned under the guise of hate speech. You know what I'm saying? Under the guise of hate speech. And they're putting Farrakhan right next to Alex Jones and Milo, all these other news organizations. And I'm like, wait a minute. These people got banned months ago. You feel what I'm saying? Months, I think, was it a year ago or something? But they got banned months ago. Now they're coming up to Farrakhan? Remember, Farrakhan, he's against white supremacy, all right? He's against white supremacy. He goes to the whole Jews thing that I don't agree with because, let's be honest, the Jewish religion is just a religion. It's not a race. A lot of white people like to play that little, card. Well, I'm not white. I'm Jewish. Yeah, motherfucker, you white. Jewish is a religion, not a race. So stop it. It's me like saying, oh, I'm not black. I'm Christian. You know what I'm saying? That's stupid. That's dumb. No, get the fuck out of here. So he goes in that whole Jewish thing that I like. Okay, I don't agree with that. Everything else I agree with. I know what you're talking about, but that whole Jewish thing, you're a little wacky when it comes to that. But it is what it is. So Farrakhan gets banned, right? And this goes to my main topic. Understanding white sacrifices. Now, what is a white sacrifice? A white sacrifice is somebody being sacrificed for the greater good. So, if a company, for example, right now, Facebook, right? They sacrifice a bunch of white people who were wilding out. They sacrificed that for the real targeting. What they were really going to do behind that was targeting non-white people for speaking out against white supremacy. So that's just what we have to understand. So they won't be called racist. If we say, whoa, you guys are racist. No, we're not. We ban a bunch of white people too. That's a double-edged sword. That's a trick bag. We have to understand to point that out. White sacrifices has always been used throughout history with any little thing. Any little thing. It's like military. You know what I'm saying? You got captains, lieutenants, general, and you got your regular soldiers. Sacrificing a small part of the group is not going to bring down the whole group. You feel what I'm saying? It's not going to bring down the head king in charge. You know what I'm saying? If you guys could understand it that way. White sacrifices is for the better good of the whole society. So, to preserve white supremacy the way it is actually being functioned and run right now, you're going to have some white sacrifices. You are going to have some white cops unjustifiably shooting and killing a white kid. You know what I'm saying? And then getting away, the white cops gets away with it. You know what I'm saying? You are going to have those rare cases, those rare opportunities, those rare situations. But remember, they're rare. They're not accounted for the majority of all these other slayings that happen. And the cops just walk away all willy-nilly, all free and shit. You know what I'm saying? We cannot just justify just a small few and just say, look at all of this other shit. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, white sacrifices have to be very, very important. That's something we all have to understand. That's something we all need to get through our heads. white sacrifices is going to be a part of the white supremacy umbrella. If you guys could understand that part. You know what I'm saying? Just because a few white people, you know, get unjustly harmed or whatever the case is, does not negate the existence of white supremacy. So let me give you guys an example. Yeah, you got some poor white people out there who are in Section 8 and who are on food stamps and all this other crazy shit. But that does not negate the fact that those same poor white people could walk into any other job and get that job over you. That's a fact. That's a fact. The reason why they're poor is, to be completely honest, those poor white people, any poor white person, that's a choice. That's the only people that I actually see that who are poor as a choice. And I'm being completely real. White people has been given handouts left and right. Left and right, left and right, left and right. By just the fact that you could point out a small group of poor white people? No, that's a choice. They got opportunities that they fucked up on themselves. You know what I'm saying? Those are choices. When I see a homeless white person, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what a waste of white skin. That's a choice. That's not this person, being unjustly doing. No. That's a choice. That's a very big difference from having a whole system, that is actually going not only against you, but a whole system that's actually designed to bring you down. That's a huge difference. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge difference. So I don't really, go into this whole, tit for tat type of shit, but this is something we have to be real about. We have to be real about this, and that's another form of white supremacy, white sacrifices. We have to be real. We have to understand that. Part of understanding those little minutia details of where we stand in this society is extremely important in how we maneuver outside of here. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's about it, guys. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Remember, if you guys want to hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at the same name, radical_Latino_, and I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.